Spy Kids Armageddon. This is a review of the new Spy Kids movie. Because there is a new Spy Kids movie. It's on Netflix now. And it does have audio description. And it's a remake. It's not a reboot or a requel or anything like that. It's a full-on remake. It's also directed by Robert Rodriguez, who is now remaking his own film. So, there you go. It's also slightly different than the original film. So, it's not quite like a faithful remake of the original, but it does exist. The stars here that might attract you to the film would be Zachary Levi and Gina Rodriguez, who take over for Antonio Banderas and Carla Gugino. We've also got Billy Magnuson playing the villain here, and for some reason DJ Catrona. I still haven't figured that one out. I think Robert Rodriguez might need help. The salinity, the Alzheimer's or whatever he's got going on. The DJ Catrona casting in this is baffling. He's awful. I don't hate DJ Catrona, and I don't feel like going after him, but I have no idea why he's in this film. I don't know. He doesn't fit the role. He's not interesting. Nothing about him works. Anyway, there's two little kids. I'm sure we won't need to know their names because I don't think they're going to have nearly the careers that Alexa Vega and Daryl Sabara had. I probably, now that I see this, would have preferred for them to just go ahead and make a continuation. I think Alexa and Daryl are old enough now where they could have kids of their own, especially since these kids feel really young. They sounded really young. I don't think either one of them is over 10. If they are, wow. Certainly neither one of them nobody's hit puberty here. Nobody sounds very old. But there are two, Tony and Tina, I think. I didn't really pay that much attention. This film isn't really made for adults, it's worth noting. So you're kind of coming here and you're wondering, why is a grown man watching? I was grown when the first Spy Kids movies came out, and I liked the first two. Three was a forgivable experience unto its own. I don't feel like bashing on 3. It didn't work for me because it was part of that 3D gimmick when we started making 3D films, and you got your glasses and they were throwing shit at the screen to try to really enhance and the characters would awkwardly look out at the screen and they'd throw something towards you. Even though I'm a blind film critic, yes, I did used to be able to see, and yes, I did see Spy Kids 3D Game Over when it was in theaters. And it was weird. Felt like I was watching one of those experiences that's at a theme park. There are a couple, at Disney World and Universal, that are these things where you go in the theater and you sit there and you put on the glasses. Universal had Shrek that did that, and Disney has Muppets Mayhem, and not Muppets Mayhem, but Muppets whatever, and the Bugs Life thing, and Animal Kingdom. All those, you just sit there and put on glasses, and they have things come close to your face, but not really, because it's 3D. So that's what it felt like. Anyway, just a little bit of a mixture of the concept of Spy Kids 3, not necessarily the D part, but 3, with the idea of video games being the central driving force in this film, mixed with the origin story of 1. So this is at the very beginning, where the kids don't know that their parents are spies, and then they find out they're spies, and they go to the safe house just like they did in the first film, but some things are different. They've updated a little bit. Robert has changed some things around. He's updated some things. Our tech has come a long way since he made the first Spy Kids movie. So he's doing more creative things here. I still think Robert Rodriguez as a director has gone in a completely different direction. Hypnotic felt like something he saw Inception 10 years ago and then decided I need to work on, and I need to make my own Inception. And it took him forever to just make Hypnotic, you know? And then this is like, I don't know why. I don't know why he remade his own film. I don't see what the pleasure of doing that for him is. I could see maybe if one of his kids wanted to remake this film, if this was like him passing the torch down, sort of the same way that Jason Reitman has done with the Ghostbusters franchise. So I could see that being the reason, but that's not. And he's just remaking his own film with sort of like a Netflix budget and a budget cast. If we're being honest, Antonio Banderas is still a bigger star than anybody who is in this film. So the first film had the budget to be able to pull in Antonio Banderas. We also had cameos from George Clooney, and it's weird that we've gone from George Clooney to DJ Catrona. Like, they're not even remotely close. And with all of the people who have worked with Robert Rodriguez over the years, the fact that was who they were able to pull in was baffling. And the lack of Danny Trejo here also is noted. Noted the lack of Danny Trejo. But I also don't hate this film because I understand that kids like films that represent and reflect them. So if you have a kid who's in the target demo for this, which I would say is 6 to 12. I think 6 to 12-year-olds is a sweet spot for this. Then they're not going to want to watch the first Spy Kids movie because it was so long ago for them. You know, if you're 7, you know, you don't want to watch a film that was made like over 15 years before you were born. It's just not something that's up your alley. So, I get this, you know, plus Shazam is the dad. Maybe you've seen the Shazam movies. So this is like an added, Zachary Levi feels more like the cool dad star to this film. But I don't understand the DJ Catrona thing. I don't think there is a damn 6 to 12-year-old out there who looked at that guy and was like, oh, he's one of the other people from Shazam. I don't think there was anybody who got excited about DJ Catrona being in this film. I just do not think that happened. Billy Magnuson, another solid casting choice if you're casting for kids. He was the villain, well, sort of. He was a villain in Aladdin. I should say a villain. He wasn't Jafar. He was obnoxious in Aladdin. That's what he was. And Gina Rodriguez, she's done some other stuff. She did the Carmen Sandiego series. Isn't that so? Yeah, they've picked a cast here that is targeting the 6 to 12 crowd. Yeah, so I get it. I understand it, and I think kids will be entertained by this. It focuses itself around video games. Kids love video games. It focuses around the ability for kids to be able to play video games well, and also to sort of be inside of a video game world, which is always really cool. There's a lot of really cool concepts here that I think kids will like. I don't know that adults are going to get anything out of this, though. I feel like this time around, the film it just works less for adults. I was an adult when the first film came out, so there's not really a difference here between I was just younger, but I was still an adult when the first Spy Kids hit theaters. So I just don't know that there's that much of a reason to necessarily say, oh yes, my opinion has dramatically changed now. Now I'm just the cranky old man who doesn't like kids films. I love kids films. Just comparing it to the original Spy Kids, I just think the original Spy Kids is better. I think the cast is better. I think they pulled in better cameos. I think the cast here is not as nearly as interesting. It does some interesting things. Um, there's some concepts here that work really well. Um, there's even a scene with Zachary Levi and Gina Rodriguez that turns out to not be what it is. That I thought that actually caught me off guard. I was like, "Damn, Robert got me on that one." Uh, I was like, I didn't even see that plot twist. I, I did not give this. This film is not very smart. It's very simple. They literally walk past this boat for no particular reason whatsoever, just so that somebody can explain what it is. So of course the kids can use it later. Like, they're just walking and they stop and they're like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's the rubber duck boat. It seats one adult. We made that." And then we just move on, and I'm like, "We're coming back to that. We're so coming back to that. We're coming back to the rubber duck boat." Like, yup, we came back to the rubber duck boat. So, I mean, it does that a couple times in the film where it just kind of says, "Here's this thing that we will be using later on." The foreshadowing is heavy. the foreshadowing is strong with this film. It is what it is. I don't know. I'm sort of in the middle because I don't really hate this film. It doesn't really, but it also doesn't spark joy. To use that overused phrase, I can't really put anything up against the first film and say, "Oh, it did it better." There are some moments here that are fun and interesting. The kids are fine. There's just, I think I just prefer the original two to the new ones. But they're fine. I could see Netflix sticking with this and making a franchise out of it, but I've seen them make efforts before to do that, and then they don't end up making sequels to those films, so I don't really know. I don't know if they'll make another Spy Kids film. I don't know how committed Netflix is to this as an ongoing series. But we'll see. I feel like this film wasn't that expensive to make. So, maybe. I've heard some of their critics talk about how they think that somebody else other than Robert Rodriguez should have directed. I don't know. It's his baby. He can, if he wants to direct it, he can direct it. I just don't know. I feel like it's weird to remake your own film. Like, why would you? What is the draw so you can fix the things that were broken the first time around? Does he think something was broken with the first Spy Kids that he needs to fix it? I think that's the better question, is why? And only he can answer that question. If it's just for the money, then that's the wrong reason. But if it's because he really thinks he can improve upon the idea that he had the first time around, then I think that's a good reason. If technology and stuff is advanced to the point where he feels like he can truly make the movie he wanted to make, cool, that's a great reason to do it. But if it's just Netflix gave him $10 million and he was like, "Yes, I'm poor, give me that money," I'd be like, I don't know, dude, maybe direct something else and continue to create new things. You used to be one of the top talents in Hollywood, and now with Hypnotic and Spy Kids this year, I don't know. But it's not bad. I don't know that adults are going to get much out of this. So I think your kids will like it. That's my prediction. I think this is really well directed for kids, and I think that's definitely worth noting. So the audio description here was solid. It really helped with the various gadgets that they were using throughout the films. I mean, there's some fight sequences. The dialogue here is cute, but there's, I guess, some light action sequences. And there's some stuff that happens sort of like in a video game world. Yeah, that needs a little bit more explaining. There's some characters and stuff that don't necessarily have real world counterparts. So we get that fleshed out a little bit more. So between the spy gear and the tech used in the film, Yeah, I definitely would recommend using the audio description for this. So that's it. Yeah, literally the worst thing about this film for me, I think, was DJ Catrona, and his they use Devlin in this film more than they use George Clooney in previous films, and because of that, they kind of made him look like an idiot. And then DJ Catrona has no personality. So it's the kind of role that you would give to somebody who has sort of like a flourish or a personality or something going on with him. I think it would have been fun to see maybe Antonio Banderas as Devlin, playing a different character. Something. This casting is baffling to me. Probably the one thing that I could stand on more than anything else is I think he's just so miscast in this film that it just bothers me. Nothing about him worked. So anyway, let your kids watch it. If you want to watch it with them, fine. If you're interested in it, fine. It's harmless. It's not gonna do anything. But I'm going to give Spy Kids Armageddon a C. That's what I do in the middle of the road. That's sort of like I consider C to be like, go either way with this. I could go recommend or not recommend. Kind of depends on the person. Like I said, if you're an adult living by yourself and you're like, should I watch the new Spy Kids film? I don't know. I mean, I did, but I didn't really have the best time. So, but I feel like if I had, a couple kids, I think maybe I would have had fun watching it with them. So, I think it just all depends on the experiences you're about to have and make that choice. So, but I still would prefer the original film. So, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please click that subscribe button. I am trying to break 200 this year. So that would be nice. I do have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what is audio description and where you can watch it. You can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. And I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at MacTheMovieGuy. That's it for me today. I will watch something else and see you guys on the other side.